John Green is currently writing a new book. I mean, it makes sense, he's an author, but he just posted this on Twitter. Hi, so I'm going on a social media hiatus beginning today while I work on a new story. I'll return when I've made substantive progress. There are several reasons for the hiatus, I guess, but the biggest one is that I need to get some writing done. John Green is back to writing! He's writing again! That's good! That's very, very good. I'm not sure if you know this about me. John Green is one of my favorite authors. He is one of the 2 reasons why I even started posting on YouTube. Now that I say that out loud, no, the other reason is not Hank. I lump John and Hank together as the Vlogbrothers. The Vlogbrothers together are 1/2 of the reason why I started posting on YouTube. So what twisted way is John Green going to break our hearts now? Who's going to fall in love with someone who may or may not die or leave or break up or something awful? Okay, I mean, that's a bit melodramatic, but come on, really, this is John Green we're talking about. John, I just wanted to say, take all the time you need with this new story. Make sure it's top-notch greatness. But, I mean, you could hurry it up a little bit. That would be fine if you would pick up the pace. But, like I said, just, you know, calm down. Just take all the time you need. Don't worry about all the stress of the people that really want a new story right now. Please, come on, hurry up. But just, I mean, just, honestly, just take all the time you need. But just Now, I don't believe I've ever read a bad John Green novel. However, I do have favorites. Should I do this list like least to most favorite? Abundance of Catherine's is oddly the one that I don't have in my possession right now. My sister is borrowing it because she wanted to read it like 1.5 years ago. So if you're watching this, I'd like that back, please. Child prodigy Colin Singleton has an affinity for dating girls named Catherine. The footnotes were a great way to help the reader understand what was going on inside of Colin's mind and help keep the reader up to speed. Also, I really liked the 19 chapters, 19 Catherine parallel. Let It Snow, 3 interconnecting stories from 3 different teenagers' points of view experiencing a huge, massive snowstorm during Christmas time. When I first read this book, I read the John Green story first, which I think is the second story, then I read the Maureen Johnson story, and it wasn't until a year later that I realized all 3 of the stories were interconnected, so then I just read through it again. It's great. Will Grayson, Will Grayson. I own this book too, but I don't have it in my possession either because I let another friend borrow it. Maybe I need to be a little more strict with my book borrowing policies. I love the way that this story was told from 2 different perspectives of 2 different characters, that John Green and David Levithan each wrote a story about their own Will Grayson, and then the stories intersected when both Will Graysons met. In their collaboration, John and David each wrote 3 chapters of a story of their Will Grayson. They swapped stories, they read each other's work, and they immediately knew where the story was going to go. And did you know that it was the first LGBT young adult novel to make it on the New York Times children's bestseller list? That's pretty awesome. The Fault in Our Stars. Everyone and their mother now knows about The Fault in Our Stars. Now, I'm not trying to be a hipster or anything, but I was around with the Vlogbrothers before they even finished their first year. I think I started watching like 2 months before the Tetris song came out. And then when this book was being made into a movie, I loved that John was getting all the success, that the reviews of the movie ended up being great. People loved it, and people hated John for being so cruel with their hearts and stuff like that. It was fun. But part of me was like, like a couple thousand of us were there first. Like with the Vlogbrothers. The movie just made it so much more mainstream, and I mean, he's been on the New York Times bestseller list before. It wasn't just like a tiny little internet group or anything. It's just, few of us were some of the first. That's all I'm saying. Paper Towns. I love this story. I still have not seen the movie. I'm going to in the next week or so. So if you want to let me know down in the comments how the movie was, how you felt it was, without spoilers, please, then go ahead and do that. That'd be fine. But this is actually not a normal copy of Paper Towns. It has both covers on each side. And the reason for that is because it's an advanced, uncorrected proof. Attention reader, this is an uncorrected gallery proof. It is not a finished book and should not be expected to look like one. Typographical errors, pagination, format, etc. will be corrected before the book is published. Thank you. This is a book like they would send it to libraries or bookstores and be like, hey, do you want to carry this book? If so, cool, we'll send you more copies for you to actually sell, because this one, it wasn't supposed to be sold. It even has a list of the book's national marketing campaign. So when I met John for the first time, I handed him this book, and he was like, where did you get this? So because of that, he called me a monstrous malefactor. And because it's an advanced uncorrected proof, it's one of my favorite books that I own. Which brings us to my very favorite John Green book ever, Looking for Alaska. This book is in rough shape because I read it so often. And one of the big reasons why I love this book is that I feel that the characters could be real. The decisions that the characters make in the book could ultimately happen in real life. And there are readers that criticize the decision makings that some of the characters make in this book, but if you were under some of these situations that are in this novel, you might not be thinking rationally either. People in real life go off and decide to do things that can change everything in a split second. And in life, not all of your questions are going to be answered. Most of your questions won't be answered. I feel like I could do a whole video on my thoughts about looking for Alaska. In the comments down below, let me know your favorite John Green book, and if you haven't read any of these books that I mentioned. Surprisingly, a lot of people have not read Let It Snow, which you totally should. They're really good stories. But I'm really excited to see what John Green comes up with next. As always, my name is Travis. Thank you for listening to what I have to say, and you will see me tomorrow.